and then you're gonna have schools that are amazing, schools that are the opposite of amazing. I'm not gonna call anybody trash, but the opposite.
I was literally gonna be like trash.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
What up, peeps? This is Alyssa, and I'm here with my co-host and faux little bro, Andre.
And welcome to another episode of Teachers Like Us. Ooh, look at
Which
that.
Which season is this?
This is season 6, which feels weird because it doesn't feel like we've been doing it that long, but it's season 6.
Oh my goodness. And like, you know what? We're going to have to revisit our first episode at some point and do one of those like, when we get video up and running. Yes, we're supposed to have video. I'm not on video. It's my fault. We'll talk about it later. But when we get video up and running, we should do like one of those reaction videos to our first episode.
Oh yeah, and kind of see how much we've grown,
how things have changed. Like we were in the classroom, like side by side.
Yeah, pre-COVID. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-COVID. That's crazy.
Things have changed. So, right. Mental health check. It's been a summer. We haven't spoken to anybody since June, and we left people angry, perturbed, people unsubscribe. I don't know. I'm joking. I don't know what happened. But...
Please don't unsubscribe. We're trying to take this somewhere. Come along for the journey. Thank you. Don't unsubscribe.
Videos coming. Andre has invested his good money. So y'all better subscribe, please.
It looks really good. Like, I know I'm saying it, but you can't see it. It looks really good on my end. So I'm ready to go as normal.
That's looking real bootleg over here. I'm not going to lie. But I'll get my stuff together for next episode. And I'm going to get my hair done. So like, I'm going to be cute.
Typical.
I can't just be out here on camera.
Typical, what is it? Content creator thing. Have to give people the fake life, not the real life. They have to see edges laid.
The joke is that you are in your OVO right now, right? You're in your Sunday best. Let's talk about it. You're in your dress clothes.
Full transparency, because no one's gonna see this video today. I'm in the same clothes that I went to school in, because this is how I dress. And oddly enough, got a lot of compliments on this sweater. Some kid I went to I went to do a guidance introduction session for a class, and one of the students was like, "Mr. Adam, I have a question for you. So that sweater though, it's looking kind of nice." I was like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "So how much was that?" I was like, "I can't even tell you, sir. I'm not."
This is my favorite OVO. This is my fanciest OVO.
Shout out to OVO. If you guys want to send me any clothes, Jesse, deal with the man up. Like, I will take it. Any OVO, anything. Anyways, back to my mental health check-in, since people want to be cracking on me. I lived the hottest of hot girl summers this summer.
Not the hot girl summer.
I was on road, just outside.
City girl. You were for these streets.
Yeah, I was on I was telling somebody, I think from middle of July till middle of August, I slept in my house a total 5 days maximum. Just in the streets, taking flights like I don't have to pay for them later. Like I did everything. I traveled the countries and the worlds and came back with souvenirs and went straight to work like nothing happened.
But
and now
let's talk about how I didn't get a souvenir.
You know what's funny?
Wow, bestie. And my birthday was in the summer. I barely got a birthday wish.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I saw Alyssa on her birthday. And we were in, again, just to share another part of our summer, we were both on a writing team together this summer and put together a toolkit on affirming student identities. Amazing work that we put together for the free ski, might I add, but we don't have to get into that too much.
We will when my mental health check comes.
But everybody, so we have this meeting, everybody goes in the meeting, and I've been sitting in the meeting for a while because me and
But
Alyssa talk before
no,
the
no.
meetings.
You missed a key point. You had been sending me memes
Oh yeah.
all morning.
Oh yeah, we were like texting in the morning and stuff like that, and then everyone came in the meeting. They're like, "Happy birthday, Alyssa! Oh my gosh, can't believe you're working on your birthday." I looked up in the Zoom meeting. I said, "Huh? My happy birthday to you." It was horrible. I felt bad, but we got it together. Well wishes
No
were
birthday
sent.
wish, no souvenir, nothing. This guy just left me on red this summer.
I went to, funny enough, I went to Mexico because my wife and I are 10-year anniversary, and
Woo!
my mom was like, "Bring me back a sombrero," and I was like, "Ma'am, I don't know what you think, not fitting in the suitcase." But I got her like a magnet sombrero. Hopefully she's not hearing this because she hasn't gotten it yet. So funny enough, I've been home again like a month now, and all now she hasn't seen that souvenir. But yeah,
That's awesome.
I lived an amazing summer. Got to do a lot of stuff. No regrets, even though again gonna be paying for it for the rest of this year and into 2024 as well. But we lived it up. We lived it up. How was your summer?
What summer? So, y'all know me. Like, I really try. I really try to take things slow, to not do anything. And then I realized like I had to do my PQP part 2. Like, I didn't have to do it. I have like whatever 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not waiting 3 years. I'm never gonna do it. So I was like, I have time in the summer. Took my PQP. I also was like, I want to lead a writing team because I have a really good idea. My superintendent pitched this list of things. And I kind of like took that and I was like, what if we turned it into this? And it became a writing team that I was leading. That's the one that Andre was talking about. And we put together a book. Like, let's talk about this thing, because Andre was going to just go, yeah, we put together something. We put together a legit textbook.
Yeah.
I'm so sad I actually don't have a copy like with me. It's upstairs, unfortunately, but this thing is thick with tooth C's. Like, it is, when it's printed, it looks fantastic. It is, nearly 200 pages of resources, considerations, lessons, templates, like a bunch of things for teachers to help them affirm student identities. And so as much as I'm like, what summer, it was validating, and like I felt okay about it when I saw it all in print, because again, we had a team, but there was only 5 of us on the team. So like it's a lot when you consider the time that we had and how many of us there were. And then myself, Andre, and Angela actually spent extra time going through things and like fine tuning everything. Yeah. And so we put in work, so much work.
Work with 2 K's and 2 R's?
No, work with an E. Come on, get it. It's work. We put in work. And a Q. WERQ.
Facts. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was. And again, because it also served as my my practicum for my PQP part 2, I really spent like the bulk of the time putting stuff together. And so it was a lot. And that's what I did all summer. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, there's 2 weeks until school starts. And so I'm back, but I'm in a new role.
Yeah, again, you change clothes like a master of disguise. It's crazy. Just like,
I'm trying. Yeah.
Morpheus out here.
Catch me if you can. Like, so I am instructional coordinator of equity right now, and I'm covering a leave. But I will say that, like, I'm getting a taste for it. I feel like this is actually where I was meant to be. If we're going to be like completely honest, I still don't know what I'm doing. So maybe like I'm delusional right now, but the stuff that I do every day, I thoroughly enjoy. it keeps me busy. I get to be Canva queen. Like, there's a lot of like puzzle piecing and like looking at policy and figuring out how to take like all these like theoretical concepts that everyone keeps throwing out and how to like ground them.
That's what I was gonna
So
ask. Like, what do you think is like the most interesting part that makes you say, like, yeah, this is for me. This is why I want to be here, type thing. What is that?
I think I'm useful in getting stuff done. Like, if we're
Okay.
just going to call a spade, a lot of people like to do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Everyone has great ideas and wants to add to the great ideas. I'm done with that. I have great ideas, but I'll just morph it in real time, right?
Okay.
Like, so if somebody has like this, you know, the big picture idea, like, I want to try and do this. I'm like, got it. Like, and I'll go and actualize it and like make it a thing and then make it concrete so that we can put it in the hands of teachers. So that way it's landing on student desks and we see real change, because I'm just so tired of the talk and everybody has an opinion. Like, truthfully, I'm so tired of opinions and everybody has one. And so I'm like, enough already. Like, put in the work. And so I don't know if anyone, actually, no, I do know that people on my team listen to the pod. And I will say, I know I look super antisocial right now. One, I am. And two, I do, like, I enjoy it and I like getting stuff done. Like, checking things off feels good to me. And so I think it speaks to
like
that part of my personality.
I was gonna say, I think that's like the anxious side of you. It's like, okay, all this stuff needs to get done. Okay, tick it off. I'm getting closer to, I don't know, a breath or freedom or something like that.
Yeah. But then I give myself more projects because then I'm like, wait, the anxiety's gone. How do I get it back? Where is she?
Sure.
And so like even today I'd finished all my work. Like, weird. Something that, again, would probably take, this sounds so like gloaty and like, you know, what's the word? Like vain or whatever. But like, it would have taken probably most people a while to get these things done. But because I just can see it in my brain, like I have that kind of like visual brain, I was like, click, 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 done. They were like, how did you finish like 3 projects in a day? And I was like, I don't know. I just saw it and it happened. So I gave myself a new project because I saw something that wasn't visually appealing and it was like grating on me. So now I'm updating websites and stuff and like, you know, I'm
So
living
do
my
you
best
like
life.
it? I know we're talking like knee deep in this check-in right now, but do you like this more than being like in a school every day, in a classroom every day?
That's hard to say. Okay, I'll tell you what I miss, truthfully. Like, I miss the banter of our camaraderie. Like, I miss that really heavy. Like, that is missing from my day to day. 100%. I sit like with my headphones on and I don't really kiki with people. Like,
Okay.
I'll say hi and stuff, but like, there's no one that's gonna make me like belly laugh like in a day, right? Unless I'm talking to you on Teams.
Sure.
But
well, don't be
so-
giving out the secret. Shh.
But like, I miss that. I still see students, right? Like, I'll pop into schools and I get to do the student interaction still. So I don't miss that per se.
Okay.
And I actually like being the one to pop in because now I get to have all these real conversations with them all the time. Like, there's no point in time where I have to teach them. I'm going in, I'm saying like, hey, what's going on? How are you liking things? Like, how do we like, you know, I'm getting feedback from them and I really just get to, you know, help them along their journey. And so for me, I feel like this is a really good place for me. The unfortunate thing is that it's not my position. So I won't have the option to be here in February, but yeah, I think it suits me.
I don't know. Maybe if you make the most of it, they might be like, ooh, you know, keep you on in some sort of capacity doing the same thing. That could be an opportunity there for you.
Otherwise, I'm going back to resource teaching, which is cool. But I think, again, I said this in the beginning of last year when I was like, I hate it. Remember when not at the beginning of last year, when I got into the resource teacher position, And I was like, I hate it. I don't think it's a good use of my talents. My talents are wasted. I truthfully, to be honest, I think my talents are wasted as a resource teacher. I think I function better as a coordinator, or something in that role where I'm like, doing.
I
Not
hear
that
that.
resource teachers aren't doing because we are, but you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah. But again, it was no summer, fun times. I'm enjoying life right now. I'm in a good place. Yeah.
All right, so then let's get into like first day of school, since we're in, well, while we're recording this, we're in the second week of school, or the first full week of school, since that first week really isn't a full week of school. What have you, I guess, in your visits to these different schools, what have you been noticing as like the fresh startup to the new year for the schools that you've seen?
Y'all are still racist.
Say that nobody's hiding it anymore. Hey, they don't wait
No.
till
You know what?
November to drop the racism.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be like completely honest, I feel like the vibes are off everywhere. And this is gonna sound weird because I don't mean the vibes are off like the way I would say that before when I was in school and I felt like new change thing. I mean like the vibes are off, like the mask of like we will tolerate equity is off now. Everybody's like, yo, F this, I don't care, bun your equity, like, and they're not afraid to say it. And so everyone's like, what are we even doing this for? Why do we even care about what the Black students are doing? And it's like the vitriol is real. And you see it not only in schools, in in a leadership role, but like you see it in life now. Like people are just brazen, like they don't care. We've swung the other way.
I think it's not just that people don't care. I think a lot of people always didn't care, but because of the time or the climate or whatever you want to say that we were in from like COVID, from like 2020 into now, with Black Lives Matter movement and all of that stuff that was going on, and all of the protests and all of that, where not only were there public outcry, but now you were having companies speak up and companies come and create equity positions because they felt they needed to create equity positions and stuff like that. And now we're starting to slowly get back into what our like new normal is, and people have realized, I think, again now, maybe this stuff can go back to the back burner where it was before, and we don't have to talk about it, and we'll ignore it, and eventually it'll just go away. And then as it's going away, all of the people that didn't like it are now like, yeah, why are we doing this? I hated this stuff. Why do we have to learn this? So all those initiatives are gone.
It's true. And like I said, the comments are getting vile. Parents, if you're listening out there, your vitriol is not helping anybody. I'll say that much. Because again, we're just seeing it on such a large scale and so quickly. Like we're getting like inundated with like, before the year even starts, don't you dare. Apparently there's a protest scheduled for next week. In like around, and that's kind of floating in the air. I heard that today. And again, I'm half in the news, half out of the news, but heard today that there's going to be a protest. And again, it's like one of those anti-equity type protests. And I feel like, and I think I've said this before too, that like equity has become the scapegoat for everything. So instead of like looking at what we're actually saying in terms of like giving everybody what they need in order to be successful, everyone like is cherry picking exactly what they either like about equity or don't like. So on kind of both sides of the coin, like those who are kind of running with it, many people are just cherry picking the things that they like about equity. And then on the other side where people are like, I hate this, they're picking out all those things. And so it's just like this weird combustible energy. And like, we're not we haven't like let the steam out yet. Like that hasn't happened, but it's like right there. Like the volcano is about to erupt, and I don't foresee good things.
It's almost like those, like, I don't know, times in history where you had civil unrest where things were happening, and I feel like everyone is expecting someone to step up and say the right things that everyone will agree with. But I feel like that's sorry, I feel like that's never going to happen. I feel like people are always going to take something that should be good. Like, what is wrong with me saying that everyone needs help, essentially?
Mm-hmm.
And we can't just give out the same help to everyone. We need to actually talk to the people, figure out what it is they actually need, and then supply those needs. There's nothing wrong with that. However, somebody will say, well, while you're talking to them, you're not talking to me anymore. And then what about my needs? Well, and then when you come to talk to me, what if I don't want to talk to you today? What about his needs for tomorrow? Like, it's too much confusion. That's what I'll say. It's too much confusion, I think, on, and like the media has a role to play in that. I think teachers as well, we have a role to play in that, of what we actually are doing versus what we're being told to do. So like there's a lot of initiatives that have been brought forth, a lot of learning that has happened through, like, you know, professional learning, through staff meetings, all of that stuff. But now it's for us teachers to be putting that back into the classroom. And if not everyone is doing it, it doesn't work. And then you're gonna have schools that are amazing, schools that are the opposite of amazing. I'm not gonna call anybody trash, but the opposite. I was literally like trash. The schools that are opposite of amazing, and then teachers that are like doing really well, but they're in almost hostile environments for the well and the good that they're trying to do for students, which is what our job is. Like, I know for me, for the beginning of the school year, I've been going around and reintroducing myself to the old students, introducing myself again to all of the new students that come into the building. And my main tagline has been like, hey, as your guidance counselor, to put it in simple terms, I'm here to support you. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to help you and provide you with strategies, try and give you advice, try and point you in the right direction, and at the very least, to let you vent and for me to receive whatever it is that you have to say to me and try and work through what's going on with you, right? That's something that I'm doing. I don't know if that's something that everybody else is doing. So
yeah,
now,
it's interesting.
So you could have like kids at my school might feel like, hey, at the very least, I know I can go and talk to Mr. Matcherson, at the very least. But then you have other schools where they don't have anybody. And there's people in those schools with the same titles as me, even more than, like, when you go into high school, there's a whole bunch of them. But students walk around and feel like there's nobody there for them. And that's really, again, part of that equity work, is that we're supposed to be meeting the needs of these kids, but no one's taking it like that. They're just taking it as, why do we have to learn this? Why do we have to do this? Why can't I just teach the same lesson that I've been teaching for the last 20 years, which is crazy.
But the other piece too, that like this, sorry, a but should have been in there. Like, it wasn't like I'm not refuting anything you said, maybe, and I'm adding. And I think that, like, when we look at things, like, I keep getting like so many comments about like, oh, why are we still focusing on equity when, like, again, there's curriculum that needs to be done? And I'm like, they are one and the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, your equity work is infused in your curriculum work. And we're not talking about changing the names of people, but it's literally, how do you create your lesson so that students can actually engage with your lessons? Like, how are you delivering the curriculum that allows students to be a part of the lesson and actually hook into your lesson? If you're only providing one entry point, you're going to reach a very small amount of students. Like, the whole idea of things like differentiation is an equity tool. Like, I don't understand how people don't see the layers like that. It boggles my mind. I'm like, you don't realize that, like, equity is not just like race related. And I feel like that's immediately where people go.
Yeah.
Race and gender. Like, they're like, that these people. Like, listen, we're out here trying to help students learn.
You know what it is too? I think it's all of us at some point in time, we're students, but us as like Black students, we were always looking for that person or those people or those teachers to bring us in to the lesson, not just teach us and say, okay, copy this down and make sure you know it by heart for the test, but to bring us in and show us people who look like us, people who sound like us, that are still successful in their different fields. And that's, I don't know if that's like a foreign concept, because again, if it's not something that you've seen before, you're going to say like, why do I have to do it? Because again, you could have, let me not even put it on anybody else but Black people for now. You could have Black teachers that could say, well, why do we have to do this? None of my teachers did it for me, and I still turned out fine. I still got what I needed from my classes and all of that stuff. Where I think like I could fall into that category because again, I was a good student-ish.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was a good
I was gifted.
So I was a good student, and I could get good grades. But if I really, really, truly look back, people were just teaching things to me, not like actually bringing me in and showing me how this is a part of who I am. Right. And I guess because now that I am a teacher, I can see that was something that was missing for me, and I want to make sure that I'm doing that for other people or for other students, and other teachers might not feel that way, and that's why there's that like struggle or pushback or something like that.
I very much feel that this is why it's like teachers like us, because really, like, again, if we loop back to the beginning, kind of, that is what started all of this. It was this idea that like the things that we were doing in our classrooms weren't radical. Like,
no,
they were really just us trying to relate and to like find commonalities between us and the students and each other, like, and just bring it to a place of like grounded, like, be real.
Yeah.
Sometimes education feels very like showy or like a like smoke and mirrors, like a magic trick. Like you're always trying to put on the best. Like, look at this. And like, here's the rabbit. And like, instead of just being like again, I would walk into my class. I have videos of me sitting on a desk in front of my students, and like, we're having conversations. I'm teaching them, but I'm not like, standing at the board and like do with my pointer. We're having a conversation, and they're learning through that conversation. And so I just wonder like how tight we're holding on to these to like one way of teaching, instead of just allowing the ebb and flow of like life and evolution and things that we're learning to like color our perspective and change them a little bit. Like, I just don't know why the resistance is so like dug in.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I think people have to realize that we're on the equity tip, and we're going to stay that way for a very long time. And
forever.
And like, even if it doesn't make sense to you, then put your little paperwork together. What's it called? Biggie has a famous quote that says, hey, UPS is hiring, don't be mad. UPS is hiring. It's fine.
Don't kill me. The funny thing, I started chuckling because when I was like, we're going to be here forever. So I went to PWI high school, like a predominantly white institution. And so there was like, at the time when I was there, like maybe a couple handfuls of Black people. And so like my friends and I, who incidentally were Black, like, again, there were others as well, but like predominantly this was like quote unquote the Black group. And so some of us in the same grade would arrive places and we'd be like, the Blacks are here. Don't do that to anybody, but like it just reminded me of that. Like equity work is here to stay, and it is a part of what you do. It is not an add-on. It is not something you should have to like, not that you shouldn't have to learn, but like the way that y'all are trying to learn it, you're trying to learn it like it's a new course in university. Like,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like you're taking Equity 101, here we go. Instead of just figuring out like, what am I doing already? How do I shift some of those things, change some of those things? And, people who are a little maybe more radical than I am are going to be like, that's not changing fast enough. you know what? I've been in there trying to change people. I'm allow the shifts
Yeah.
right now. For my own kids who are in the system, I appreciate when they have teachers who are at least trying. Harm is going to still occur. I think we also need to allow space for that, right? Like everyone seems to think that once you are on an equity tip, that like all of a sudden there is some sort of perfection. I truthfully would liken it to being a Christian. Once somebody finds out that
Let's
you're a
go.
Christian,
Let's go.
right?
Yeah.
That they expect a level of perfection out of you, right? And
Yeah.
like this level of like sainthood that isn't what, you know, your religion is about.
Yeah.
And I would say the same thing for equity. Like, stop expecting perfection out of people. That's not the goal. The goal is to like aspire to do the best and understand that you are fallible and that you're going to make mistakes. But then like you're going to continue trying to do the right thing and fixing it and like,
Yeah. It's
you know,
recognizing
doing all
that
those
it's funny that you're comparing it to Christianity, because it's really, you can really draw like some really solid parables.
I know.
Parallels, not parables, parallels
I
between
know.
the two. Where again, if you were doing things one way and you come into contact with equity, and now you're trying to say, okay, let me look at the things that I was doing and start to make the changes. Now that I know what I should be doing, or have an idea of what I should be doing, now I'm going to be on this new journey. And this new journey is something that I don't have altogether, because again, I don't have all of the answers. I'm learning them. I'm learning them from other people. I'm reading books. I'm listening to podcasts, right? But I'm going to be on this journey and move forward and see where it takes me. And that's really all I see. And like I'm saying it, but I really feel like maybe at the board level, so our school boards, other school boards, maybe that's how they should have approached it, instead of saying like, okay, hard stop, everybody's wrong, all of you are racist and white supremacists, like stop what you're doing now, and had everyone's back up, and then said, do it this way now, get down or lay down, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, well, no, you see this union that I'm in, I don't have to lay down. Like so people got their backs up that way. Where if we had a different approach that kind of said like, hey, we're noticing, we have the data to prove there's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we are looking to address the issue, and we're going to continue on this journey together. Nobody knows the end. We have an end goal in mind, but we don't know how we're getting there yet. That would have changed. I think would have changed a lot of the mindset of people that were on the against side, because I think the people that wanted this were just like, okay, cool. Like I know for me, again, I talk about this all the time. When these concepts are being brought up, I was like, oh, okay, am I the only one who's sitting here that wasn't doing this already? Like, why is this like, woo, brand
it just got
new,
a fancy name?
Yeah, why is this a brand new phenomena for everyone?
Calm down. Calm down, scholar.
Yeah, I was like, why is this something so like spectacular for everyone? But okay, let's roll with it and see where it goes. But then it rolled down when it should have been ascending. Like,
I agree. I think, and I've said this several times to people all over. I've said it in schools, I've said it at the board level, and I said I don't know that the rollout lent itself for people to jump on. And I will say, like, I was part of that problem, because in the beginning we were just so upset. We were like, we were angry, right? Yeah. Like, let's be honest. We were feeling decades worth of just stuff that we saw. And then all of a sudden, like, it took one galvanizing event or a couple galvanizing events in the States for people to be like, oh, there's a problem. And so we were like, dummy. Like, we were trying to tell you. And
yelling at you guys this whole time. Like,
yeah, like, and so everybody was really angry. And so when the approach came out and when the rollout came out, it was steeped in that anger of like, you need to get on board because we already know.
Yeah.
And you don't know yet. Instead of, practicing the pause is what we call it, where you just take a moment and you're like, okay, yes, I knew because of my lived experience, but there are things that in my lived experience, I don't know for other people. And so we need to like have that grace. But then people who are feeling resistant, I would say at this level, if you're still feeling resistant, I'm going to need you to actually kind of get your life together. This is me being mean again. But like at this point, we get it. The rollout sucked, but like you understand that it is necessary for students. And yeah, I wish also that the media would stop with words like indoctrination. It is weird. When I hear indoctrination, I'm like, please come into a classroom.
Yeah.
Please come into a classroom and try and get them to be quiet.
Yeah.
You know what? Matter of fact, drop a bunch of things on the floor and ask them all to pick them up in a middle school or a high school, and just see if you can indoctrinate them to even pick up the garbage on the floor.
I had a teacher say to me today, like, hey, I wanted to take a pause from work and play a game with the kids. I just told them, hey, move the stuff around so we can have more space for this game. 15 minutes. So they played for like 3 minutes and the bell rang. They're like, oh, what happened? And the teacher's like, what do you think? I wanted to play. You guys wanted to not do what I said. Cool. Now you lose out. But yeah, I think we're on this this road, and we're still on this road. And I think it's good to have people like Alyssa that are now, you know, working at a school board, at the school board level, who can either kind of like oversee stuff that's coming from the top before it makes its way down to the kid's desk. And hopefully by having more people like that in those places, it'll start to make things I don't want to say make more sense to teachers, but teachers will be more accepting to what is being presented to them, and be able to present it in a way to students that's actually like impactful and bring some change in the school buildings themselves. Because
I agree. So we're already on this equity train. So I'm just going to keep going because I have a question for you as a parent now.
Okay.
And maybe specifically, again, like, this might be like our religious podcast all of a sudden. Like, what's happening? I think. Okay, so as a parent, your child learns something at school that you don't agree with, whatever that may be, or it is not in alignment with the teachings of your household. How do you handle that? Like, truthfully, what is your process for handling things that you don't feel like are in alignment with whatever you believe? Okay,
so to answer that question, I'll say it this way. Like, again, when I was having my hot boy summer, I had there was one of my friends had a birthday, so we went out to dinner, had a little mandem gathering that rarely happens. And in that, one of our like group chat conversations came up, and now we're all in person and interacting, and it was kind of like what you're saying, like, okay, I think my kids are learning this in school. I don't agree with it. What am I supposed to do? And we were talking. And then after a while, everyone was like, no, shush, teacher. What are we supposed to do? You're the one with the answers. What are we supposed to do? And what I shared with them, which is my answer to this question, is no matter what your kids are learning in school, you have to take into account what kind of parent are you. The mere fact that you are a parent who is asking questions, who is looking at the work that's coming home, who's asking your kid, like, what did you learn in school today, and actually looking for an answer and questioning their responses and saying like, oh, you know, you talked about this in school. When you go back to school, ask your teacher this and tell me what your teacher says, and continue the conversation and things like that. Because you're that actual caring parent, you should have no issue with what is happening in the school building, because you know that if there was something actually wrong, that you would be someone that's actually going to speak up, step up, and you don't have to go to the school and, you know, fight anybody or curse anybody out. But you are already a very good parent. And that's what I think that that's what I think my wife is, because we are good parents first. And when it comes to I have my daughter that's in school right now. I let her teachers know, like, don't talk to me like I'm a teacher. I don't have whatever understanding that you think that I have. It's out the window because it's my kid. So you talk to me like I'm a parent, and when I ask you questions, you should have the answer for the questions that I'm asking you. Because this is my child, and because I'm showing that concern, I think for me, I'm not so much worried what she's learning in school right now. I don't think I will be in the future, because I think I'm already building these lines of communication where we are talking about things at home, discussing things at home. Again, like I said, me saying like, okay, they might have taught you this, but this is kind of what we believe at home. Right. And if you're having that conversation, then you're good. You're good. It doesn't matter what's being taught at school.
I 1,000% agree. And I ask this question again because of the whole indoctrination like rhetoric that is going around, and that like teachers are indoctrinating kids. And I say to those parents who have that belief that your lines of communication with your child may not be open enough. If you're not having those discussions at home, if you're not talking to your kids about a variety of things and allowing them to question things, like they're going to have questions. Kids are curious.
Yeah.
At all stages. They're going to have questions. You need to allow them that time to kind of explore, discover, and have like, let them know that like you are okay. Like you're the person that they can come to with those things. And you're not going to be like, shut it down.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't help. I'm telling you right now, there are so many parents who think that like, because they have said like, this is law, that their kid's like, okay,
no problem. We got it.
You know what your kid is coming to school and doing?
The exact opposite.
An entirely different person. And then they're coming down to guidance and they're like, I can't talk to my parents.
Exactly.
Or please don't say anything because like, you know what I mean? Like you, at the end of the day, as parents, you love your child, like above all else. And so if you want to keep that child in every sense of the word, like have them as somebody that wants to be near you, wants to talk to you, wants a relationship with you, wants to be alive in some cases, like, yeah, like that is actually how serious it is. Sometimes you really need to have those lines open, and it can't always be so combative. And then the second thing I will say to parents is look at the curriculum. It's a lot, and stop relying on the news to tell you what's in the curriculum.
For sure. Because they're only telling you a sentence, or they're not telling you the sentence. What they're telling you is like an example that could be used, but nobody uses that example.
And so if you're really curious and you are about changing and figuring out, like, I find a lot of parents are quick to be like, show me what you're teaching for the year. I'm going to go look at the curriculum. I'm teaching the curriculum. So go and read through that document if you're that curious.
Yeah.
And then again, make sure that you are having open conversations at home. It doesn't mean having that means dialogue. Conversation is back and forth, not a lecture about what you believe, but like inviting in, right? This is like the whole like inviting in podcast right now, right? The same way you all want to be invited in. You want to be invited on the equity train. Maybe you don't, but like you would rather that than pushed onto it, right?
Yeah.
Your kids feel the same way. They just want to be invited into the conversation.
I think the other thing I'll add too is if you are a parent who wants to be involved, when you step into a school building, you need to notice the teachers that are there for your kids. And I say that because for me as the guidance counselor, and I'd say even more now that I'm the guidance counselor because I'm free to kind of move around. But I've always had situations where like something would happen with a student, parent would come in angry until they talk to me. And it's like, what is happening? How come nobody helped? Nobody at the school cares for my kid. Something happened. Nobody dealt with it. and then you come and you sit in my office, or I catch you in the hallway while you were ranting and raving, and I try and like diffuse the situation. But part of me diffusing it is really just saying like, hey, know that when they walk into this building, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not, it is a whole lot of other people. It's a whole lot of other people, but at the very least, it's me. So if something were to happen and you heard my name, there should be some calm that comes with it. And I've seen over the years of parents that know that there is people that they can trust in their building. So now when they're bringing in their cycle of children, because maybe they have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids.
Wow. Okay. Call me out.
Right. So they bring them in with less and less worry. Or when something happens with the middle child or the youngest child, they come in and they say, hey, where is so and so? Because I know so and so. I trust so and so. I trust this teacher. Where's that person? I think parents, you really need to, again, get involved in your school, get to know the faces of the people that you're cussing at home. And that your kids are cussing at home when your kids are like, he doesn't even like me, when all he did was mark you late when you walked into the class.
Yeah.
That's all that happened. Right?
Oh, listen, my teenager right now is all in that narrative. He just doesn't like me. I'm like, maybe because you don't show up to class on time.
Exactly. Right. So come into the building when they have, again, we're at the beginning of the school year. When they come when open house comes, go into the building, walk around, look at the different faces, talk to the people that are involved with your students on a day-to-day basis, whether it's their actual homeroom teacher or, a switch teacher or something like that. But get to know them, so that way when you start to feel like uneasy or uncomfortable about the school environment, you're not just walking in guns blazing. You're walking in to say, okay, where's this person that I trust? Let me get the real answer from them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I see that more and more now as, the parent of school age children. I pop into that school as much as I can, as many times as I can. And I know that's not feasible for everyone. The hours just don't work sometimes. But if you can ever just pop in and even just maybe talk to the principal, putting a face to the name to the face, all of those things, like, it really helps.
For sure.
I feel like my kid's school right now, like, not even the fact that I am a teacher, but like the fact that I am the responsible adult for these 3 kiddos that are in this school. I feel like a part of the school community. I really do. And I feel like they look out for my kids, and I can genuinely feel that. And that's because, like, I've tried to build that relationship as a parent, not as a teacher, but as a parent, like, and say, like, these little bear cubs are mine. Like, care for them, because you're in loco parentis right now.
But what's funny for me, I feel like I do the opposite, where like my wife is very much, everyone knows that we're both teachers. They all know who Lauren is. I'm fortunate enough that my school is, like, the school that she goes to is a smaller school. So not as many students, so it's very personable. Families know each other, all of that. But when I walk into the school, I'm not trying to make no friends. I don't want to talk to nobody. Don't, like my granny would say, don't skin tea with me. Don't smile with me. I'm not trying to crack no jokes. I want to know what's going on. Give me my answers and I'm out of there. Let my wife come in and be like, cookies and stuff like that.
That's me.
Right? But for us, it's just, I guess, a balance for us. But again, if you're going to complain, or if you're going to have complaints, don't let them be silent complaints at home amongst your friends and family that, aren't involved in the school system. Go make your complaints heard to faces that you recognize, to faces that you can reason with, whether that's the principal, vice principal, teacher, guidance counselor. Go be involved. Go get involved. Be a part of student council. All of that fun stuff.
I agree.
All right. So I think we'll end today here. We're on this train of of long episodes already, and it's episode 1. But I hope you enjoyed
Welcome
it.
back.
Exactly. We are Teachers Like Us, and you can find us wherever you decide to put your subscription dollars. If you're looking to stay up to date from when we're dropping new episodes, you can follow us on Instagram at Teachers Like Us. If you're looking to follow me, we're not going to start with Alyssa. If you're looking to follow me,
I just dropped content, first of all.
I am, you can follow me on Instagram at IamAndre.m. And if you're looking to see what content Alyssa drops sporadically,
the gall.
You're
going to get a lot more selfies of me as of late. Also, guess who's getting a Sage discount code?
Ooh, the discount codes are back. September is popping.
September is popping. So yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Alyssa G. Titer or historically speaking.ca.
Thank you, and we'll see you, or hopefully you'll see us next week.
You will, because I'm getting my hair did. Peace.